Hey everybody, welcome to English Made Simple, Sentences 2. I'm Teacher Steve and this is Beyond English, Unlocking the Power of Language. Today we're going to be looking at the subject, verb, object, sentence structure, intransitive verbs, which are verbs without an object, and imperative sentences that are single word sentences that don't even appear to have a subject or an object. Let's get into it. Let's start with a quick review or recap of video 1. In video 1, we learned that a sentence expresses a complete thought and makes sense on its own. There's 4 types of sentences: a declarative sentence, which is a statement, "It is hot today"; an interrogative sentence, which is a question, "What is the time"; an imperative sentence, which is a direction or a command, "Don't do that." An exclamatory sentence. This is an exclamation showing strong feelings. "I can't believe we won today." In this video, we're going to look at understanding subject, verb, and object sentences. So that's sentences that have a subject, a verb, and an object. But we're also going to look at variations where there's a subject and a verb, so no object, and single word sentences, which don't appear to have either a subject or an object. So why is this important? Well, knowing how the subject, verb, object sentence structure works helps you speak and write clearly and correctly, especially when developing your spoken and written English. It'll enable you to write grammatically correct sentences and avoid confusion by missing out words and using an incorrect word order. It would also help you to know how to correctly use the variations, such as subject, verb sentences and single word sentences. The subject, verb, object sentence structure is the foundation on which you will build compound and complex sentences, which we're going to deal with in video 4. So what is the subject, verb, object sentence structure? Well, remember, a sentence is a group of words that expresses a complete thought and makes sense. To make sense, a sentence needs 3 parts: a subject, that's who or what the sentence is about; a verb, that is what the subject does or what happens or what the subject is, it's the action or being part of the sentence; and an object, that's who or what receives the action. So together they form the subject, verb, object pattern, one of the most common sentence structures in English. Let's have a look at how it works. So in the sentence, the cat chased the mouse. It's a complete sentence, it is a complete thought, and it makes sense. And we have a subject, the cat, that's who or what does the action. We have a verb, chased, that is the action. And we have an object, the mouse, that is what the cat chased. That is the receiver of the action. So the subject, the cat, is the doer of the action. The object, the mouse, is the receiver of the action. So this structure is the subject, verb, object sentence structure. The cat subject, chased verb or action, the mouse object. Let's have a look at a couple more examples of subject, verb, object sentences. I ate the pizza. I, the subject; ate, the verb; the pizza, the object. I ate the pizza. The teacher explained the problem. The teacher, subject; explained, the verb; the problem, the object. The teacher explained the problem. So in these sentences, we see the same pattern. Someone or something, the subject; does something, the verb; to someone or something, the object. The pattern makes English sentences easy to build once you know and understand this structure. Be sure to learn it, memorize it, and practice it. It'll make your English so much easier. Let's move on to a variation, which is the subject plus verb sentence. There is no object. Not all sentences need an object, and we'll have a look at some examples. The baby cried loudly. The baby, the subject; cried, the verb, but there is no object. Loudly is an adverb describing the verb cried. The sun shines brightly. The sun, the subject; shines, the verb, but brightly is not an object. So once again, it's an adverb describing the verb. And the last one, birds fly south for the winter. Birds is the subject, fly is the verb. South for the winters, not an object. It's just a description of where they fly. So we've got an adverbial phrase describing where the birds fly to. So in each case, we have a subject and a verb, but no object. Yet they're complete sentences and they make sense on their own, expressing a complete thought. We call these verbs intransitive verbs. So intransitive verbs are verbs that don't take an object and they don't act on something. Here, there's a subject and a verb, but no object because the action doesn't need one. So these are called intransitive verbs. Let's have a look at single word sentences. So sometimes a single word can form a complete sentence. That means it can make sense on its own and form a complete thought. We're going to look at two examples of these. The first is imperative sentences. These are commands and requests. Stop actually means you stop. Go means you go. Run means you run. So in each case, the subject you is implied. It's not written and it's not spoken, but it is implied. So the sentence does have a subject and it does have a verb. Note, the word implied means that it's suggested or understood without being stated. So in these cases and in these imperative sentences, which is our commands or requests, we say the subject is implied, though it's not spoken or written. The second example of single word sentences are called minor sentences and sometimes elliptical sentences. And these are answers to questions. Yes, no, maybe, okay. They express a complete thought and they make sense on their own, even though they are only one word. So we can have single word sentences in the case of imperative sentences, which are commands and requests, stop, go, run, and minor sentences, such as the answer to questions, yes, no, maybe, okay. Okay, it's practice time. Look at these examples, identify the subject, verb, and object, and you'll realize how simple this sentence structure is. The farmer planted rice. So we have the subject, the farmer, planted, the verb or action, and rice, the object. She phoned her mum. She is the subject, phoned is the action or verb, and mum is the object. And the last one, I rode my bike. I am the subject, rode is the verb or action, and bike is the object. It's pretty simple, eh? Not that hard. Let's review and recap everything that we've covered in this video. A sentence expresses a complete thought and makes sense on its own. To make sense, a sentence needs three key parts. A subject, that's who or what the sentence is about. A verb, that's the action or state of being. The object, this is who or what receives the action. No object, some sentences don't need an object. A subject and a verb will do. Intransitive verbs are verbs that don't have an object because they don't act on anything. We can have single word sentences, imperative sentences, which are directions or commands. In this case, the subject is understood, and minor sentences or elliptical sentences, such as the answer to questions. Yes, no, maybe, okay. Thanks for watching Sentences 2, our second video in the English Made Simple series from Beyond English, Unlocking the Power of Language. I'm Teacher Steve. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or you'd like me to make some specific content for you, then leave a comment. And if you haven't watched video 1, then go back and watch it. And keep your eye out for video 3, where we're going to look at subjects and predicates and active and passive voice. These are important things that you need to know when writing and speaking English. I'm Teacher Steve. This is Beyond English, Unlocking the Power of Language. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.